It's not about feeling sorry for ourselves.
Mm-mm.
When people feel sorry for themselves, it's almost as if they haven't diagnosed the problem that we're facing. You know what I mean? Like we're in a war.
It's a war.
We're in an. This is a war. So when your enemy strikes, that's what they're meant to do. You know what I mean? And and we're meant to strike back. That's what we're meant to do. So it's not about feeling sorry for yourself. It's about equipping oneself for this war. And we could probably get into it at a later point, but maybe that's the mistake that I made with African Stream.
All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay, guys, welcome everybody. This is the 300 Q2. I know that people are still trying to get in, but as they do that, I'm just going to do a quick introduction because we have a guest that I want to bring on. Welcome to the Q2 presentation. I'm extremely excited about this one, guys, because you know, it's very rare that you have a plan and it works according to plan. And this is one of those times that things have actually gone according to plan. So obviously, 3 months ago, we started this initiative, which the concept being that we were going to create a system whereby we could have complete and absolute autonomy creatively in everything that we do. And I would present my projects and you guys would see that presentation and then put the funding behind it, and I'd be able to do those things autonomously. We had our vote, we made the vote, and the project is complete. However, what we do have today is a special guest, because you've seen the videos that I've made about African Stream. You know that African Stream was one of the most important Pan-African news networks on the internet for all of us. We were all benefiting from the fantastic reporting that they were doing, talking about a lot of the issues that a lot of people shied away from. Now, the reason why I want to talk about African Stream up front is because the CEO and founder of African Stream, Ahmed Kaballo, is with us today. I know that some people might miss this because people are still trickling in, but you will be able to, hopefully I might be able to provide a small replay via email, secure email for those people who want to see this. But we're going to have a conversation about what happened with African Stream and also get to know the founder, because a lot of people do not know who he is. And this is going to be a great conversation for this community because we are all about Pan-African and African autonomy, creatively, economically speaking. Okay, so now without further ado, let me bring him in. All right, fantastic. Good evening, good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening, yeah, 7 o'clock here in Nairobi, 7:09.
Good evening.
Evening.
How are you doing today, Mr. Kaballo? Welcome. It's a privilege to have you.
I'm good. I'm healthy. For that, we thank God. And it's a real pleasure to be on your platform. I've been following your work for a little over a year. You're doing fantastic work.
Thank you.
And you've just told me off air that you're doing this basically on your own.
Yes.
So kudos to you.
It's tough.
Kudos to you. And I really like the initiative and the way that you framed the initiative. It's not about feeling sorry for ourselves. When people feel sorry for themselves, it's almost as if they haven't diagnosed the problem that we're facing. You know what I mean? Like we're in a war.
It's a war.
This is a war. So when your enemy strikes, that's what they're meant to do. You know what I mean? And we're meant to strike back. That's what we're meant to do. So it's not about feeling sorry for yourself. It's about equipping oneself for this war. And we could probably get into it at a later point, but maybe that's the mistake that I made with African Stream. It took me too long to realize that simple fact, that this is a war. The information that we're relaying, the conversations that we're having, the people that we're getting on our podcasts, it's going to upset some people. I wasn't aware of it at the time, because I thought I was maybe more radical than I am. But I must have actually believed in, the notions and principles that they tell us they're about. Free speech, democracy, uh, uh, plurality of ideas. I
Right.
believe that, I'm not doing anything illegal,
Right.
so I should have no problem. I set myself up on Gmail. We were communicating people on Gmail. We were putting our email address
Out
public.
there. Right.
We backed up all of our videos on G Drive. We didn't even put them on external hard drives. Just, when I think back now, it was
Right.
so naive.
Right. Right. How would
It
you
was
not?
so
Do you know
naive.
what? This is a fantastic opportunity to talk to you. Do you know what part of the problem is? And I had the same issue that you had.
Mm,
There is no way you could have known how big you were going to get. There's no way.
yes.
When you
Yeah.
start,
Exactly.
you wouldn't know that you're going to be the number one guy. Like you started and you wouldn't realize when you began that you're going to be you're going to get so big that the US government would notice you. There is no way that you would know that. So I wouldn't even say you made mistakes. That is natural that you would start things that way because you had no concept of the appetite that the African people had for what you were doing. You wouldn't know that. So, so,
Yeah.
so I actually believe that what has happened to you was inevitable, but it's a great lesson for us. So that was your journey. I believe that it wasn't even in vain. I think that what you went through is to allow people like myself and thousands and hundreds of other creators to be like, you know what? This is what happens. We've got to think about these things. We've got to. Do you agree with that? That's what I feel.
I do. I do. I do. It was interesting because when you made the video, another sister in London
I saw that one. Yes,
made us. Yeah.
saw that
So
one.
it kind of felt good that like you said, it wasn't in vain.
No,
People are starting to think of you know your what you're talking about is a bit more advanced. I think she was just asking for like emails and a mailing list, but maybe she wouldn't have asked for that had what have happened to African Stream
wouldn't.
have
Yeah,
happened. Yeah, and I think it did wake people up a lot about the nature of the fight that we're in. Um, we launched September 2022, and then Ibrahim Traore came to power in
yeah,
October 2022. So we followed his journey. His
right.
journey and our journey was almost in sync.
Do you know how crazy this
And
is?
obviously,
Guess when my platform started? December 22.
20, December 2022.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think I also feel like that had a role to play as well. That we happen to have a journalist based full time in Burkina Faso
okay,
who is bilingual. She's still there now.
okay,
So we and she's met President Ibrahim Traore, and so we were able to follow that journey from the start with confidence.
hmm,
When you've got someone on the ground, you can ask them off the record, like, okay, so this is what we're reading, but is this what's
this
really
is
going
what's
on?
actually happening exactly.
Is exactly, and she was able to say to us, no, this is the real deal. This what's happening is the real deal. So we were able to report to an English speaking audience what's going on in a French speaking country from day one of when it happened.
Right,
And I think that, and I think, usually they usually have a monopoly on that type of stuff.
right,
You know what I mean? Like, not, I'm not here to do any PR about North Korea, for example, but North Korea is a great example of this. You can say anything about North Korea because there's no one to verify. You
right,
can literally make up any story you want. I remember there was this story that someone was being killed for selling Squid Game DVDs, and it's just complete false. It
right.
was by Radio Free Asia, which is a CIA front. But because there's no one in this part of the world that has any
Right,
contacts in Korea, probably speaks Korea, has a platform that's big enough to reach people, you can just say lie after lie after lie. And I think that's what they were hoping for with Burkina Faso. They could
right,
just pump out lie after lie after lie, No one can verify it. No one's there. No one who is the people who are there are speaking to a French-speaking audience, not an English-speaking audience, and so we became a threat on that front. But if I'm being honest, I think our big issue was the US elections. And I think, it wasn't a coincidence. We were taken down 2 months before the US elections. So Anthony Blinken did this press conference.
Yes.
As you know, the
Yeah.
Secretary of State doesn't usually do press conferences. It's usually that his press secretary, the guy with the annoying grin,
Right.
that does the press. So when the Secretary of State is coming to the White House stage, it's big news,
Right.
and yet he just talked about my company and just so it goes to show how uncomfortable we made them.